My name's Dave DeBow, founder of MoneyPartnerFormula.com, and this show is built for everyday real estate investors who are actively doing deals and looking to scale using other people's money. So if you're an active real estate investor and you want to get featured on this show to talk about your own real estate and capital raising experiences, then just go to daveinterviewyou.com. Now let's get rolling with this episode, and remember to subscribe for daily interview content. Hey gang, we got a special treat today. We're going to get out of the world of multifamily and commercial real estate. We're going to talk with an expert who's been in the single family home space, a small multifamily. We're talking up to like 4 units. He's been doing this for many, many years. He's got a big portfolio of those kind of properties. Very well known in the real estate space. We've got Dustin Heiner from masterpassiveincome.com. So Dustin, welcome back to the show. Great to have you again here, my friend.
What's up, Dave? Hey, thank you so much for having me on. I love real estate investing, not necessarily like investing itself, which is great because it's like a game. I love the game of business, but it's what it affords me to do in my life. And now I have many properties. I have cash flow coming in. I don't have to work. I like the term successfully unemployed. I get 40 plus hours of my life back every single week. And then I get to, hang out with my family, go to the gym, play golf, and come on podcast and talk to great people like you. So thank you for having me on.
Well, it's great to have you, Dustin. So give us a little snapshot. What we're planning on doing here, you guys, just to give you a prelude, is we're planning on talking with Dustin about how to create like a 10-year plan even in single family homes to really get ahead financially. But before we do that, Dustin, maybe give us a little idea of what your portfolio looks like, what you're invested in, what locations you're in, that sort of thing, especially on the single family home side of your portfolio.
Yeah, totally. So I started investing back in 2006 and I started buying single family homes because I had no clue about apartment complexes, didn't have much money. So I didn't know how to raise money. But anyways, bought a single family home in Ohio. I was living in California at the time. And if you go back and listen to my past episode on your show, I share a lot more about like what really got me into it, which is a fun story. So you definitely need to listen to that. But so I just kept buying single family home, like residential, 4 units and below, just one after another. Eventually I had 30 plus properties, single family homes, and they were mostly paid off because my wife said, hey, if you're going to quit your job, I don't want to have all these debts. If you die, like get them paid off and then you quit, then we can have all this cash flow. So it worked out really well.
Hey, you know what? That is so, in my opinion, smart and contrarian, because you listen to all the big guys, AKA Kiyosaki and pretty much anybody else has learned from him. It's like, debt's good. You want to have things leveraged and yada, yada, yada. You kind of went the opposite route. So you want free and clear properties. So your wife's more at ease with that whole thing. Plus,
yes and no. Now I 100% used leverage. I borrowed money, other people's money. I even used a credit card to buy properties. Now I have a business that makes me money, and I would not suggest doing it unless you can put that capital to work and make money. But I use a lot of leverage to get to where I was. But then I just realized, man, if all these mortgage payments, they're irritating. Like, how about I just, I could have taken that cash to buy more real estate, which would have been totally fine. But I had enough cash flow. I think there are 30 plus properties, each one making me $500, $600, $700 a month. Now I've had these for 10, 15, 20 years now. So I'm making a lot of money every single month from these properties. I have midterm, short-term, and long-term, long-term 12-month leases, short-term Airbnb, midterm, like traveling executives and stuff like that. And then I also love playing Monopoly. Growing up, playing Monopoly all the time. And so what happens in Monopoly, you eventually get into bigger and bigger deals. Last year, I bought a 350-unit apartment complex near Nashville. This year, I bought a 325-unit apartment complex near Chattanooga. Each one, like 60% of market value, because I'm an investor. I don't buy at market value or even above or even anywhere near. I make sure I capture equity when I buy it. So right now, 30 plus single family homes. I think it's like 33 now. And now, one quick thing. I never sell anymore. I've sold in the past, all my single family homes. Now, apartment complexes, we got a lot of investors. We'll probably sell. I would like to refinance it and then pay off our investors and keep it. But my single family homes, what I love about residential, it's 30-year fixed, especially even if you get a DSCR loan, a debt service coverage ratio loan, which it's not on your income that they are checking to make sure you could pay back the loan. It's, will the property make enough rent to cover this mortgage or this loan they're going to give you? And so it's a business loan, but 30-year fixed. And what I love is after 30 years, I could refinance and get equity, which I do. I get home equity line of credits, which I do. But in the end, I have these properties I will give to my kids. That's the biggest thing I'm starting to realize now. I've got plenty of cash rolling in. I've got lots of properties, but I'm thinking now I have 5 kids. Very, very blessed to have 5 kids. How can I get them so that they have this capital, these properties? And another great thing, on top of me giving them the properties when they're old enough, and maybe when I pass, I'm actually teaching my kids. I've taught thousands of people to invest in real estate now. It's been terrific being able to do this. But my daughter, 16 years old, bought her first rental property, and she's got her entire life savings. In fact, she did not want to spend any money on anything else because she knew, hey, daddy invests in real estate. I know I can make cash flow every single month. Anyways, yeah, 3 months ago, she, 16-year-old, bought her first rental property. It's making $315 or something like that every
That's
single month in
awesome.
passive
Yeah.
income. And she took her entire cash that she had and bought her first property. But in 10 years, if she only buys one a year, which is extremely doable for anybody listening, if you're for you listening, this is extremely doable. My daughter's doing it, and I have 5 kids. They're all going to be doing this. One property every single. In 10 years, she's going to have 10 properties, and let's say at minimum $300 a month in passive income from each property. Well, that is $3,000 a month if that's the minimum at 10 properties. But in 10 years, you know how much rent is going to go up by then? She might be making five, six, $7,000 a month just from those 10 properties. And
Mhm.
on top of that, she can even use that equity to buy more real estate. It's just a fantastic way to, I think, create income. That's a big thing for me. Like, I think real estate investors should stop being investors. Stop being an investor. Even though you invest your money, you don't want to be an investor because in 2008, when the market crashed, everybody that I was watching that were quote unquote real estate investors went bankrupt. I was worried, but I did not go bankrupt because I invested for income, for cash flow. I made more money because sadly people were losing their homes, foreclosures, and then they need a place to live. And so they become renters. So my rents went up. And so no matter if the market goes up, down, or sideways, I continue to make money over and over again because I invest for income. But the big thing is we have to have a business that runs itself because I don't want to be running these properties. In fact, to get to 30, 40, 50 properties, you have to be able to scale your business so that it runs without you.
Whew. Okay, that's a lot there, Dustin. Thanks for giving us the big
I get
picture
excited. I
overview.
know, Dave.
So,
I
well,
can
let
keep
me
going.
back up for a minute because you confused me there. Your wife said she wanted to have properties free and clear in case the bus hits you and you're dead. So then we went off on a tangent and you said no, they're leveraged and all that stuff. So let's go back there. What was it that your wife said, and what did you do with the portfolio at that point? Because I want to make sure
So
I get my head around it.
yeah, we had a lot of leverage on the properties. And then before I quit my job, I had extra my job money and my business, my real estate money. And so I took all that money, was paying off all the loans. Does that make sense?
Okay, so at this point, this is a number of years later. The 30 houses that you've got, single family homes that you've got in the portfolio, are most of those still mortgaged and have debt on them? Just some of them free and clear? What's kind of
I'd
the big
say
picture there?
up until I want to say March. Up until March, I'd say I had maybe 2 loans. The other ones were all free and clear. So it's
Okay,
just,
so yeah, so
yeah, a lot of
yeah.
cash flow coming in. But the reason why I say up until a couple months ago, so I recently took, I think, 6 properties, bundled them together, and got a DSCR loan, like I said, the
Mhm.
business loan, 30-year fixed, which is great. I think it was like a 6.5% interest rate, and I pulled out like 500 grand.
Yeah,
And
and
that
then you can
500
do something
grand,
else with that.
yes, I bought
Tax
the
free.
apartment complex. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hey there, if you're a capital raiser, a syndicator, or a fund manager, and you're looking for a steady flow of incoming accredited investor leads, then go ahead, grab a free copy of my new book, How to Get 20 Accredited Investor Meetings Every Month Without Cold Calling, Networking, or Chasing People. You can get that at 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com. Again, that's the number 20accreditedinvestorsbook.com.
Okay, now it's making sense. So yeah, and again, that's very contrarian to a lot of what we hear, but in my mind, very, very smart. And then you've got the opportunity to do that kind of thing. You can bundle a bunch of them, get half a mil, go buy something else, refinance it, pay off pay off the line of credit, so to speak, on those properties. You're back free and clear. Really, really smart, right? So you're leveraging it when it's needed, but you're not screwed, and your wife's not screwed, heaven forbid, if you get hit by a bus.
Absolutely.
Nice. Very, very smart. Okay. And then we talked about what your daughter's doing. I love that. 16 years old. Congratulations. She's a chip off the old block, that's for sure. And the goal is one single family home a year for 10 years. I remember a few years ago, Dustin, you probably heard of this concept, but there was somebody talking about like 5 homes to freedom. And their idea was kind of similar to that. Over a 10-year period, buy 10 properties. Then at the end of the 10 years, sell 5 of them to bottom, kind of give or take, sell 5 of them to have the other 5 absolutely free and clear with zero mortgage. And this guy was talking about if, especially if you've got like suited single family homes. So you've got the main, you've got 2 units basically. It's almost like duplexes. And then at the end of that 10 years, you've got 5 free and clear properties generating a significant amount of cash flow, and that could be your retirement type savings. Is that kind of similar to what you're talking about there, or you're just chug along and then naturally pay them off over time?
Well, for me, no, because I never sell anymore. That's like bottom line. I never sell anymore because I realize as soon as I sell it, I don't have that property making me money every single month. I have properties making me $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month or $3,000 a month. I have one making me $3,600 a month because it's doing really well. And so if I sell it, probably, I don't have that income anymore. And if I wanted that money out of that property, i.e. selling it, I sold it, I got that money, you get taxed. I'd much rather get a tax-free loan, pull the equity out.
Yeah,
exactly. Pull that financing out if I want to use that to buy other things or pay it off. But honestly, what it really comes down to, because like I said, I've coached, I don't know, thousands of students now to invest in real estate. In fact, my goal is to help 1 million people to become financially independent by investing in real estate. That's why I just do everything that I do. And so with that idea of how do we make sure that we're investing, but then also living in our risk tolerance. That's the biggest thing that I see with every single one of my students is the risk tolerance. My wife's risk tolerance is so much less or smaller than mine. My risk tolerance,
but she's happy right now. She's happy. She feels secure there. So let me get back to that. So when you were on the mission to pay off those properties, keep the wife happy, did you do that strategically, or how did you kind of do that? Because I've heard different ways of paying off mortgages. What was your methodology?
So the methodology was little by little, like let's say 1 month I got 20 grand. Well, I would use that instead of going on trips or spending a lot of money. I would either put that towards paying off an entire house, like one at a time, like the snowball method, where you just one after another. I can't remember exactly how I did it. I just remember attacking each one, like the lowest dollar amount. I like that, especially like a credit card. Snowballing on a credit card. You get the lowest one paid off, and then that entire amount will go to the next one. And honestly, it goes very, very fast when you really attack it.
Yeah, when you focus on it. No, that's really, really smart, Dustin. Cool stuff. So I'm sure some people are going, hey, this Dustin guy sounds pretty darn smart. I'd like to find out more about him. Where do you recommend people go to get a face full of Dustin?
Absolutely. Actually, would you mind if I gave everybody a free course just to start investing?
Sounds like a heck of a good idea to me.
Awesome. Yeah, I just want everybody to invest in real estate. So if you text the word rental, RENTAL, rental to 33777. Rental to 33777. Now, if you're in Canada, just go to masterpassiveincome.com/free course. I'm not sure if that link or that text will work, but masterpassiveincome.com/free course. I'll show you how to do everything that I've done in my business, that I've taught thousands of people do it. You can even find me on Master Passive Income Podcast. I've been doing it since 2016, over 2.2 million downloads, which it's just me coaching. Like, I rarely do interviews. It's just me, like, let's talk about this topic. This is how you do this. And this is how you do that. So both those ways, Instagram to the Dustin Heiner is another way you can find me.
Awesome, Dustin. Thanks so much for being on the show again.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, everybody, take care, and we'll see you on the next one.
Hey there, I really hope you enjoyed that episode. And as always, if you want to listen to more daily interview content, make sure you subscribe. And if you're an active real estate investor and you're doing deals and you'd like to get featured on this show, then just head over to daveinterviewsyou.com.